Yes, we're back again. Mountain biking in South East Queensland, gang. It's been a little while, which is why there's such a big smile on my face. Welcome back to the studio. How are you guys?
Awesome, as always.
Yep, good. Good to see you boys again. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Hot minute, been a damp minute.
Been a cold minute. It's been
a cold minute.
And long and
it's been a minute.
Winter.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, I have finally released a couple of episodes that we've had in the bank with the two women.
In the vault.
Yeah. Jane and Emma, fantastic chats we had with them. But
we're
guys...
addressing that gender balance by going back to an all-men panel.
That's right.
We are going to chat a little bit about what's been happening with you guys, what events are coming up, what events have you done, because there's been several months we haven't chatted, and they've been the toughest months, you know. It's just hard not chatting with you guys for a couple of months.
It hasn't left us unscarred.
Are you,
shall we start with your adventures?
I think
because you don't normally have adventures, but you've got something to a relatable story for.
That's true. Okay, I'll start. Underneath this shirt,
it's the gun show.
Yeah, the remaining scars. I'll see if that's in shot. There we go.
We'll use
the remaining scars of we'll try and maximise the muscle there. Yes, I ran into a branch. I did some jousting in scribbly gums with a branch, and I didn't come with my joust. I just was on the receiving end. Going down Green Heaven, I think the trail's called, so near sort of Platypus, near the creek, over near the hospital, funnily enough, about a kilometre from the hospital. I was shooting down what isn't really that much of a technical trail, or it's not a downhill trail. It's a little bit technical because it's on a slopey hill, but it wasn't a crazy section. I didn't make any mistakes. I will have that known. I just was cornering very fast down a tight corner, and came around, and there were a lot of branches down. We've had quite a few storms and a lot of wind through. And there was a branch, or the top of a tree, I think it was, had fallen. So this is probably a 6 metre long branch, and I caught the receiving end, or the very end of it, pointing directly at me as I came around this corner. And it went straight into my arm. Basically, the moment I saw it was the moment I went, oh dear, and it hit me, and I went to the ground somehow. I don't quite recall how I've ended up on the ground, but pulled the sleeve up and had a look at it, and there was a nice wide open gash, and I knew straight away. I was with a mate, knew straight away, alrighty, let's call an ambulance. Let's get this looked at, because I was looking at yuck,
I
fat
and So it actually, in that part, you went through the full thickness of the dermis into the subcutaneous layer, and it because it's under tension, it's opened up. So you can cut in the picture in there.
Don't know if people want to see that one.
Send a DM to the page if you want to see that. I wouldn't say it's particularly graphic.
No, it's pretty clean. It wasn't bloody. The photo that I saw. But it is one of those things, the unexpected can and does happen. I do recall a similar experience going around a branch, and the top of a tree was in it. And what made it difficult to see was it was similarly end on. So it's difficult to judge the distance. And it, same thing, got me in the shoulder, grabbed my jersey, and, a much smaller scratch, threw me off the bike. Before I know it, instantly on the ground. So,
yeah, it put me down. Like it was
gave you the don't argue.
Pretty much, it was like I saw it and I went, "Oh damn!" I'm trying not to swear on this podcast because it's family friendly. But I went, "Oh damn! This can't end well." And
we can edit in "dang" later.
I'll beat that one out.
That soundboard with the beep on it and I know, right?
Bring back the soundboard.
That's not. That was
ding. So that was a bit of mischief right a week before a time where I had a lot of jobs on, like back to back. I was covering the Bunya to Bay journey, which is a student journey down the Brisbane River with cycling, canoeing, hiking, all these students. And I knew that was a busy period coming up. I had multiple jobs in between the weekends of that with multiple crew. We were live streaming the Sunny Coast Marathon. We were, had photographers here, there, and everywhere. And I was playing it cool. I was trying to be safe, but just that little bit too fast around one corner, and it was just bad luck.
You were you've got another busy period coming up too. I think you were telling me about. Is that when you're doing your base jump as well? Just the weekend before that, I think.
Yeah, but I'm doing it safely.
You got your helmet on.
Yeah. Nothing could go wrong.
Your knee pads.
Yeah. But no, I always say, especially self-employed, you could ride hard, or there's been times where I've ridden hard and just gone full out. But I consciously don't ride particularly hard for that reason of, who's going to pick up the slack for me, or, it's a financial loss if I hurt myself. And this is just one of those things.
That's also why I ride slow, because I'm worried about my employment day to day. That's why I'm
That's it.
Painfully slow bike rider.
I've got no excuse for the limited amount of riding I do, or not being particularly fit or anything. But that's a different story. But yeah, it's just just shows. Doesn't matter where you ride, how you ride. It can be a dangerous sport, but it's been a long time since I've had an accident. So.
Do you two routinely carry any kind of first aid stuff?
I was just thinking question. That so I carry a spare tube, which can be
tourniquet, sling.
I've used it as a sling for someone with a broken collarbone.
Yep.
It can be a compression bandage as well.
Yep.
We've used it to tow people with broken chains.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I've also got a tiny little space blanket because it doesn't take up much room. But I tell you what, if you get out in dark and you get wet and cold, that's pretty cheap insurance. I don't generally take much more than that. But yeah, look, a snake bandage isn't a bad idea. Compression bandage for that. But
like you said, you have your tube.
Yeah.
I'll answer. I was with a mate, and so I'm grateful for that. And I was able to say to him, top of my bag, there's a bandage. And he grabbed it out as a compression bandage. And having that wrapped up, the size of the gash and how it looked and how I was feeling, it's just kind of shaky for 5 minutes or so before I sort of settled down and just went, okay, I'm all good. Like, I can walk out if I have to or whatever. But I was grateful for that. And since then, I think to myself, well, I think I'll just always carry it with me. And the other thing that is good to know, because of logistics of getting an ambulance in there, which ended up not being necessary because I kind of ended up walking out after quite some time. But knowing where you are is usually a good idea. To know where you are and what sort of access is there makes me wonder if you have something go wrong that is slightly more life-threatening in a place where you don't know your surroundings, can get a bit hairy, I imagine.
There's a couple of good apps, the 3 words on the emergency app. You ring up 000 and you say Mountain Dew energized, and they'll be able to pinpoint where you are. Just
because there's phone apps. There's also 000 or 112, which is another mobile phone-based emergency number. So both of those will call any carrier or provider. So even if your phone doesn't have signal or show up with signal, if you ring 112, that will pick up any carrier. I think it's triple dose is the same now.
Yeah, I told my mate Elliot, who was with me, to open up Trailforks, and in their menu they've got an emergency location thing in there.
If you're a Strava subscriber, there's an emergency button. I think your Garmin has an emergency default. And
however, it was not so much where we were. It was actually the local knowledge of access, because we were near the creek, and even some of the other roads near there, access-wise, 4-wheel drives were not. You had to have an ambulance that had a 4-wheel drive to come in, and B, just the access wasn't necessarily easy. So it was actually not until later I realised there was another way that would have been coming from a different direction, not from where the ambos and hospital were, but they would have got in easier. And that just having that local knowledge could have been, can be handy.
So tips are request a 4-wheel drive ambulance, but the operators should be across that. But if it comes from the local station, they will generally know if you're in Bayview Conservation Reserve, to get in there we need a 4-wheel drive ambulance.
There's one of those cases where, high praise for for the paramedics, but they weren't local because they'd just come from, they were from down Beedley Way doing another job. They ended up on this one, and it actually was a little bit tricky access-wise, and so that's why I'm grateful for the bit of knowledge I had, but I ended up just walking out, honestly, to meet them near the gate. And by the time I got out, that was only when the fireys arrived with a key for that locked gate. And so it was a little bit like, glad it wasn't much worse. But
yeah. So if it's real bad, stay where you are. Keep the person calm and stable. They'll come to you. And in bad situations, I've been to a couple where we've had helicopters come out and chopper people out and I've stretchered people out before too. I tell you what, that's really hard work to carry. I think we had 8 people, 2 teams of 4, and we would carry for a few minutes until in uneven terrain down mountain bike trails, then we'd put the person down, swap, and then just keep. And it's
Yeah, you'll appreciate the shirt that I was wearing, Oppy. There was a sign, a little stick figure thing. There was a sign that said bad, and then a comment, well, that's not a good sign. And that's the shirt I was wearing. And
has it got stains now? It's got cred,
it's got a
blood stain,
giant hole in it. Yeah,
fantastic. It's got cred.
There's a shot of me wearing that in the ambulance with yeah. Well, that's not a good sign.
That should be framed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about you guys? Any incidents, any wins, any achievements over the last few months?
Oh, well, let's see. We'll start with the wins. I got off my XCO and marathon bike, got out my enduro bike and went out to Hiddenvale and had a W. I had a win in the old men's class, the over 50s.
The enduro.
Enduro, yeah. So that was a bit of fun. I think knowing Hiddenvale and being able to pedal definitely paid off for me because I rode some of the new trails that have been built out there, sight unseen, old school enduro. Not all this like I've been out for 3 weeks practicing the course type thing that goes on nowadays. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It just reminds me that I'm better suited to going down hills than up them.
Fair call.
But so I've been out there. I think I've been out there 4 times in the last couple of months. One to ride the enduro race, but also, of course, leading up to this year's Epic. So new course coming out.
Looks tasty.
We'll get into that a bit later. What other events? I don't think we've recorded a podcast since I went to the Nationals back in, I think, March, late February. So yeah, that was probably one of the most notable things. It's such a big drive, but it's really.
Remind us where that was.
Mount Buller.
Buller?
I was going to say Beauty. Mount Buller.
I didn't go.
I don't know.
This is your story.
It's the one in Victoria that starts with a B. It's so long ago it is. I'm going to blame old age. But yeah, it's a really amazing drive to drive across the country, and you see such a variety of landscapes, and down through Western Queensland, so out to Goondiwindi, turn left, go down through rural New South Wales into
through Narrabri. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Did you listen to Tucker's daughter?
I don't think Tucker's daughter got a run, but a bit of flame trees. There was some flame trees there.
Well, Tucker's daughter mentions Narrabri.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Tucker's daughter.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Look, you just check these
just
headsets.
I know you're a fan. But so that
still holds up.
That was I didn't do particularly well. I think last and second last for travelling across the country. But what was notable about it was fine and sunny for most of the week down there. And then on the day of the cross-country race, they had a storm warning and high winds, chance of snow. And, the temperature plummeted. They shortened the track to get us out from under some of the forest. And there's some epic photos of Beck Henderson winning the elite women with basically injured shoulder and wrist, I think it was.
Yeah.
And just coming across the finish line in agony amongst the swirling mist where you could barely see the riders in the freezing, driving sideways rain. So it was one for the ages. Yeah, proper.
You did say it basically became a dirt crit. with the course. But they're like
they still held it. I mean, they actually they delayed the race because the mountain weather warning was such that it's like, don't go outside, seek shelter. So they actually delayed the start. And then they made the judgment call to take it out of being under the tree canopy because there were literally branches falling off.
And we know what sort of damage. Thank you, Lachlan, you didn't need to demonstrate it that
branches coming from above and below.
I prepared earlier. But, I did see some of the juniors, which are, a bit more slight, and they were underprepared, and there were a couple of people carted off with hypothermia. It was that cold. So it was, I think I had arm warmers, an undershirt, a cycling cap. I was going for full Giro Andy Hampston style. Do you remember, I think it was back in the late 80s where they went over, I think it was maybe the Steve-Lo, and it was, they had snowbanks 5 metres deep. Anyhow.
I think I've seen the photos.
Yeah. So I was channeling my inner Hampston. And, if you get cold, just ride harder. So I managed to stay warm, but it was a horrendous race.
Yeah, I remember the photos.
Yeah.
I do love a good road trip. That's a long way, but is a road trip better solo to a race, or have you experienced shared road trips to races?
Oh, that one. Look, in the end, I did that one solo, but I do remember with Mad Matt, the Mini Man, in his old converted Pantech truck, basically, that had been converted into a camper van. And I think there were probably like 6 of us, and we had 6 bikes, and I think it was 3 seats across the front. The rest of us were in camper chairs in the back of the Pantech amongst the homemade built-out bunk beds. And you go around a corner too fast, and your chairs kind of slide across the floor. It was a great time.
They're pretty rigid, the Pantecs, or are they?
It's a
pretty rough ride.
Not with the weight of the camper van on top of it. I think it was even 4-wheel drive. It was a complete tank of a thing. I'm trying to remember. Will Yarwood used to have a box van. Went down to, I think maybe Thredbo. It might have been. May have even been Buller. It was Mount Buller, the Nationals. So I've done some crazy road trips. We hired a bus one year back in the late 90s. The Rats hired a coach the first year and a box van, and we had about 30 South East Queensland mountain bikers travel down to race the Nationals in Canberra.
Cool.
So that was pretty adventurous. And the next year, I think we did it in a coaster bus. It wasn't quite as high class, and we were supposed to get like a nice coach, with the upright seats, cloth and all that. And at the last minute, they went, these guys are all young guys. So we ended up, like a school bus.
Oh, yeah.
With the steel rails and the vinyl seats.
Yeah.
And travelling for hours and endless hours and the most uncomfortable seats all the way down to Canberra. I remember sleeping on the floor of the bus on some cardboard and being roasting hot on my back and freezing on my front because, the exhaust was under the floor, and it was. So it's the reason I travel on my own now.
Hashtag bring back the bus. I reckon that'll be fun. I'll chat to the Rats and see what we can.
It was a great shared experience. I mean, that was back in the big bike shop at Underwood, back Terry Dan and oh god, yeah. It was really cool. There was still a lot of Brisbane people down at the Nationals. Of course, Les and Sharon Heap, of course. I think they're at every race ever.
That's true.
Wherever you go, they turn up.
I think they climbed the Stelvio in the snow one year.
I think they did, yeah. Sharon's continuing her winning ways. I think she just won the gravel state titles and the gravels and the cyclocross state title back to back.
Yeah. So before we got onto road trips, which we can chat about, maybe there's a road trip in our future or something, but we'll see. But we should we should give Hubcap a chance.
Yeah.
But were there any other events before we throw to Hubcap, Oppy, that have
there was some
happened
great
that are worth mentioning?
Jack's Ridge Marathon. What's interesting about that is this trend for multi-lap marathons, as we were talking about, 100K, but of a 10K lap, so just round and round and round and round. I'm not sure whether I like that as a form of marathon. I'd rather go somewhere than do multi-lap. But from a logistics and an event delivery point of view, it's easier to run, it's cheaper to run. I don't know whether that's the
what's this one?
future. Jack's Ridge down in northern New South Wales.
That's coming up.
No, that was
when you did. Yeah,
June.
Yeah, right.
How long ago?
1850. It's been that long since we've done a pod. So
It's great trails. I highly recommend popping over the border and making a weekend of it down there. It is a long drive, but
not as far as Bulla.
Bulla Beauty, whatever it was.
It's a 2-day drive. I stopped in Dubbo on the way down, overnighted at Dubbo, and then.
Is it that far down?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Well, for driver fatigue, it should be 2 days.
Yeah.
I must admit, on the way back, I just did it in one, but it's like it's like an 18-hour drive.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
I do think we will see more of that though.
The multi-laps?
Yeah, because it means that they have to sort of bunt and set up 10Ks trail and manage that and respond over that distance. It means you can have a 20K, a 50K and a 100K all in one go, and the logistics of it don't get any more difficult. It's one race village. You'd rather that than
no event. Yeah. I mean, nothing beats a big epic day on the bike going over huge distances. That's an experience that actually I think gravel is taking over from mountain biking. The mountain bike marathon has given way to the gravel marathon.
Definitely. I mean, if we were going to go and ride the original epic course now, would you take a mountain bike or would you take a gravel bike? There's a lot of fire road. There's a lot of high speed riding. There's a bit of climbing. Would you get a gravel bike with 2 chain rings or just a lower chain ring on the front or something? Like what would you ride?
Well, I was going to bring that up because I actually.
You and your notes over here?
Do you want? We can get into this later. Do you want to? Did you have any
tell us what
highlights for the last little
while? So what did I have a run around at Brisbane Roubaix, which is a new course this year. Always a challenge, always interesting to get out there and.
Not really a gravel race though.
Not really a gravel race. Gravel bike. You can ride it on a road bike.
They ride the real Roubaix on road bikes just with fatter tyres.
They do.
In fact, everything's getting fatter.
They are. So
and this. Who's carrying it? Who's carrying a spare tyre?
Were you looking at our esteemed host then?
He was doing this.
Doing these ones.
But talking of fatter, do you remember us talking wheel sizes? And I'm like, 32-inch wheels aren't a thing.
Yes,
bloody hell. Bloody 32-inch wheels. Maxxis has got a production tyre already. There's prototypes being raced at World Cups.
Saw that.
So after the Roubaix, what did you get up
to? Went down to Coralban, same day as Jack's Ridge. Unfortunately, the Coralban reschedule was the same day, so it's been a frustrating period with all this rain, I suppose, where it's okay, finally there are these races cropping up, and then because of delays and stuff like that and weather, then it's like there's 3 races this weekend I want to do, and then there's nothing for a month. So I already had an entry into Coralban, so I went, and I love going to Coralban. Like we talk about this getting out on a bike, and it's just good. It's just good and wholesome. The trails are. It's like I feel like I'm donkey out there. I like that rock. That is a nice rock. I remember that rock from like 2005. Like some of the trails out there, you don't ride. I didn't ride some of them for 12, 15 years or something. How long would the hiatus have been?
It was a long time. Yeah.
And you go back and
it was definitely a decade.
And you go back and you say, this is exactly the same as I remember, but I'm fitter and faster and I have a much better bike now.
I think that's rose-coloured glasses you look through there. The older I get, the better I was.
No.
Slower.
And the grass trees, you recognise them just like you recognise the rocks?
Well, they used to be this big, and now they're like a metre tall.
Yeah. You can still pick your way through them, though. Like wider handlebars now, though. So there's one trail out past the golf course where you used to go through the trees, and now I go around because I've got significantly wider handlebars now.
How wide?
whatever. It was
750?
some 760.
760 is pretty normal.
I think that's just what came on the bike.
I just replaced some bars that were 760, same model, and now they're 800. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to have to cut them down? Wow. So, yeah, it's so wide. 800 on a cross-country bike, too wide. Going back to I might start with 780 and then see where I want to go.
Which one's your cross-country bike?
Merida 96XC, but I was running Renthal carbon bars on it that they're old bars, so they used to be 760, and now they produce them at 800.
So what's your big one? What's your enduro bike?
Oh, the pole's got 800.
Yeah, right.
For an enduro bike, you want a bit more torque, a bit more leverage on the bars. Plus, they run a shorter stem, and your position riding position is much more aggressive. You're over the bars, a lot more chin over the stem. Whereas on the cross country bike, it's the only time your chin's over the stem is when you're chewing the bars on the way up.
Yours pay the bills though.
No 500. I used to run like 500 wide flat bars. And there was an era where to make the bars lighter, you used to cut them down, and people had brake levers that were like almost touching in the middle of the bars, like
oh man,
just to make them lighter.
Glory days. Glory.
Well, they're coming back. So the reason I say that. If you finish talking about your other events before we get into that, I mean, otherwise I got so much to say. So much I've made a paper note.
You've got a booklet of stuff over there. And then what else? I got out on Rail Trail last
2nd of August.
2 weekends ago.
The 160.
The 160, which didn't work out for me. Got an inopportune flat tyre. Lost the group just north of...
What a letdown.
I was deflated.
It was only a flat on the bottom, though.
That's right. Lost the group just out of Toogoolawah, which is the flat attritional open sections as the wind was picking. Didn't feel particularly windy until you were riding solo, and you're like, oh yeah, this is horrible. So.
I have a response to the pun now.
Chime in. We'll edit it in. We'll reduce the timing.
Do you retire or retire?
Oh,
it was worth it.
That was really good.
I spoke too soon or too late.
Where's that sound effect? The soundboard thing.
God, it's around somewhere.
So, should we talk about what races are coming up though? Let's spread the word. We've got some events coming up for us here in South East Queensland that we want to.
And this podcast will be turned around very quickly. So this will all be up to date, current.
Well, yeah. So you won't be listening to this in March
December
2027 or so. You might go back and revisit it and go.
Well, I mean, the big one is the Epic. I think that's the longest coming up race. It's on my calendar.
Brown Snake's slightly longer, but it's...
Is it?
It's 100.
So Brown Snake Gravel, new event for South East Queensland.
Next weekend.
Cam Taylor of Brisbane Roubaix.
Fame.
Notoriety.
So are we all going to be there?
I've got my entry in.
Yeah, I'm entered. I got in early.
I'll bring my camera.
Do you remember how much elevation? And the course was just released, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, just 100, under 110, 2K. 2K of vert. It's got some climbing.
Brown Snake Gravel. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, it's a bit of home ground. 120K, yeah.
120.
Or 60. There's a shortcut.
I'm doing the 120. I don't.
I think there's an intersection where you can decide whether you want to do the bonus 60 or you can
I don't have
turn
enough.
left.
I don't have enough sense to
do this. Yeah.
Does it have vert?
No, it doesn't. Well, it does.
It's on their Instagram.
It says no actual snakes on the website. I would question that.
I really don't think they can get out.
How do they guarantee that?
Yeah.
Well, post-ride party to celebrate. Doesn't have the. I'm sure. I thought it was like 2,400.
Yeah, it's good. It's got some.
But anyhow, come along and see what that's all about. Starts close to the CBD, goes west, out through Jaguar Range by the look of it, out towards Lake Manchester, back through the Anstead, back into bottom of Cootho and back to the city. Finishes at a bar. So that'll be a fun day out. I mean, that's not a traditional race. They have some Strava segments where you can have a short, flat-out go, but it's much more a fun day out on the bike. Bring whatever you want, ride a mountain bike, ride a gravel bike, ride your road bike if you want.
The Graham is saying 102.5 Ks with 2.5 K of vert.
There you go. So that's, bring back big climbs.
Very gravelly.
Yeah, so a lot more gravel than Brisbane Roe Bay. Brisbane Roe Bay, I mean, Roe Bay itself is a mix of rough and bitumen, so I think this has got a different spirit, but both fun events, so I'm looking forward to that one.
And then a couple of weeks after that, we go into the Epic.
So good lead up for the Epic, because this year, plenty of climbing in the Epic.
The Epic is looking
very epic,
serious.
I think it's just over 100 Ks and over 2,000 metres of climbing again. So,
yeah, I like that.
But 2,000 metres of descending. So it's got some big, long descents. I've been out the last, I think, maybe 2 weekends in a row, riding a mixture of the first half and then the second half to have a look at the trails. So Epic is out of the Epic Trail. The single track's gone, and a few changes have happened to the trails. So Intervention has been getting
You keep
work.
saying intervention.
It used to be called Intrevention. So there was Treedom, not freedom, and Intrevention, and maybe they've just told it intervention now.
I believe it's just
It used to, well, because people just thought I was mispronouncing it. That's what we used to call it. That's the one with the infamous tree gap, which is
Treedom.
On Treedom.
That's Treedom.
That's Treedom.
Yeah. Sorry, the trees are in the same area. Sometimes you can't see the forest for them. So that's got a Treedom. It's got a touch up. It's much more smooth. The jumps have been smoothed out and lipped up. So, and that was one of the fun things about the enduro was Road Divine 500, dialed in Hippodrome. So after hitting all the jumps on my enduro bike, I've been hitting a lot of them on the cross country race bike, which is a lot of fun
and nailing it.
So or pretty reasonable. I think it'll be different during the marathon. I'll be picking which ones. When you've got some natural speed built behind you, it's easy to jump the jumps. But if you've got to sprint into it, I don't think I'll be doing repetitive sprints.
Yeah,
during the marathon.
During an event.
I'm like, although I have been known to go enjoy the downhills far too much and then pay for it on the next climb. But
also depends on the traffic. I know. I haven't studied this map yet, but I know like Divine was one of the early trails that we covered last time, and
has got some quite big gap jumps in it.
Right.
And
is it early on, or is it?
Yeah, it's really early on. Like it's after Gully. So we go Access Road, Gully, then into 007. And there are some big jumps on that if you actually hit them, when the trail come back together, you could be T-boning people. So that'll be one to watch. I'll probably have to judge that. I mean,
I don't know if this is the thing nationwide in Australia. There's definitely... I'm not a particularly strong starter in marathons and not a particularly technically good rider.
And some say not even fast.
Well, where I come good in these races is
on camera.
The back end of these things.
On camera afterwards.
In the retelling, he gets faster and faster.
Sorry.
Let's have a look at last year's Epic results, shall we? But there's a lot of people that take a lot of unnecessary aggressive risks early on.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just doing insane stuff in the first couple 100 meters. I remember Epic a few years ago when you just went out the fire road and climbed Grinder, and people going down that descent out to Western Creek on the fire road. And they said, just careful of the water bars and stuff there. And there's like that left, right before you go through the creek. And people just going off the side of that like 65k an hour. And you're like, well done. You've crashed your bike 5Ks, 4 or 5Ks into this thing. You've nearly taken out a bunch of other people. And then you look around the group and you go, like, none of you guys are going to be here, like, at the top of Grinder. Like, the selection is going to be made in about 5 or 10 minutes. And this is... all you're doing here is potentially ruining your and potentially ruining everybody else's race. So, and self-seeding though, but please self-seed. So there's always somebody in front of me that I just look at them and go, you're wearing Dunlop volleys on a Kmart bike. I don't think you understand the concept of self-seeding. So hopefully there's a little bit of that. I mean, as much as I say that I'm not a good rider, like last year at Epic, you passed me on 500 above off that berm into that bit, but I knew it was you knew it was me. We're like, oh, that's okay. We can just be
I had a very
almost
big smile.
reckless.
We were having fun with it.
But we were almost reckless in how we did that pass, but it was safe enough because it was like, oh, that's Oppy. He'll hit that gap and I'll trust that he can do that and I can just hold my line and I'll catch you on the next climb. Like, but that's different. That was about 30 Ks in, I think, at that point.
And we knew we were coming, but I did see some poor behaviour from some riders as we were going up. Might have been intervention. Like you're in a conga line of riders and someone was yelling out, track, and I'm like, where am I going to go, man? You're just going to get round me and get stuck behind the person that I'm waiting for. If you were really good, you would have been off the front. Don't get that angry about yelling at people, especially not, they passed the back of the women's elite field and, hounding the riders to get past. And I'm like, come on, man, it's like it'll happen. If they're slower than you, you'll beat them. If you're faster than them, you'll be fine. Dicey passing. Yeah, I think it's generally, once you're about past 25% of the way, a good 25K in, that kind of, you've spread out enough, but it'll be interesting.
That's the other thing. The selections have been made. So even if it hadn't been you passing me coming down 500 above, it would have been somebody else that was in the top 25 of the day at that point. Because at that point, if you're not in the mix, your day's over, basically, in terms of those higher positions.
So do you remember Gully? When you come off the access road, you turn right, you go down the slope, and there's the bridge, the up over.
Oh, yes.
The bridge?
Yep.
Yeah. So imagine, that'll be the first selection because the start of that ramp going up has no handrail. So I did bring that up with Tim. He's like, oh, well, people, they'll work it out. And I'm like, all right. Because I can see that 3 abreast coming into that.
Wait, that's the very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So take your camera.
Interesting.
So you go over the bridge and keep going up Gully, and then you come back down 007, come underneath. I don't know what that one's called that goes under the bridge.
4 or 5 abreast going up that road usually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyhow.
Right,
elbows up, just sharpen them.
I don't know, stay out of it at that point. That back end of Epic looks incredible. Was it consecutive climbs in the second half of the race to 500 above?
Yeah, so up hitch.
The whole way up that climb too, not...
Yeah, so it goes, we go out, we do Grinder and Dances with Dingoes early in the piece, so that's loop 1. You head out there, come back down, ripple effect. And
that'll sort a lot of people out. That'll thin the field.
Trying to, so after you come back up to the fire road, you go on to Dodgem?
Yep.
Dodgem, Western Creek, Big Dam, Dances with Dingoes. Almost there, I think it is at the top.
Yep.
And then back down Ripple Effect, and then it's into Dandies, and then Intervention, Treatum, up the Shuttle Road, across towards the top of Divine, but then you turn left and go up Hideous, then across Gorgeous, Dialed In, down 500 above, back up Hitch, and look it up on the website. So literally you go to the top of 500 above, descend
turn around and climb all the way back up, and then climb up to Skyfall.
Yes, and we're at the top of Skyfall. We don't take Skyfall at that point. You go down Hippodrome, then down Divine, back up Riders Creed. And I think then you go straight up the fire road from the top of Riders Creed all the way to the top of 500 top of Skyfall, and then you do Skyfall, Trailer Trash. I'm sure I've missed some.
That is a mean fire road climb. The fire road climb to Skyfall is.
Yeah, so there's two big fire road climbs. Plenty of passing opportunities there.
So don't worry about it on the bridge at Gully. Don't stress it.
Yeah.
That's an impressive recollection of trails. And for those who have no idea what those trails are, I'm going to take a snippet of that compilation and turn it into like a bedtime podcast so you could fall asleep to Oppy whispering the trail.
You start off with the access road and then we turn into Gully. Gully's a lovely trail with a lovely wooden bridge, and you go over the bridge, trip, drop, trip, drop, trip, drop.
If you can answer me these riddles 3.
Oh, what is the carrying weight of a swallow? Was the unladen carrying weight of a swallow? Monty Python.
All right.
Oh, Holy Grail. Anyhow, shame.
It's not Simpsons. He doesn't know it.
Calm down.
All right. So that's going to be epic. It's putting the epic back in epic after the abridged 87 last year. 80?
I think it was shorter,
67.
67. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 60.
See, it's got longer in my recollection, and I placed better. So that'll be a great event coming up. So,
but what photos do you want? Where do you want those taken?
So there's the classic, grass trees at the top on your way down from 500. But
above with the view. Skyfall's got a nice view. But
that Skyfall with the valley out behind you, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. Peter Cray's son, maybe. A tailwind 4-hour at Murrumbeena in about 2013 in consistent rain. I think they had to close one of those descents because it was just unrideable. And somebody walked the course backwards with a camera and just got these raw photos of sometimes mountain biking is not even type 2 fun. It's type 3 or 4, maybe even a high. It really captured what it meant, what it takes to be successful in those things, or not even be successful, to just show up and just. There's a picture of me and Ben cresting one of those slippery, grassy climbs under the power lines above the dam, and we just look like hell. We just look absolute, and now you can see our jerseys are just plastered to our skin, and we have our glasses and our helmets because they'd become useless 3 hours earlier. And I liked the series of photos they got that day, which have been lost to social media these days. But I like those kind of photos, like where you don't expect it. Like I have 100 photos of me riding a berm, or smiling at the top of 500 above with the valley below me. Like, yeah, but sometimes mountain biking's hard work, especially marathon racing. It's like we choose to do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
So there's some nice pinches on Hitch. So if you want to catch some despair and some people pushing.
The Hitch isn't familiar to me. Is that a new?
So that's the shuttle road. From when you get to the bottom of 500, you turn right, and it just goes up and up and up. There's some epic views in the background of that too.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, there'll be some suffering there. I think that's got more pinch and more elevation than climbing up the fire road to Skyfall.
Right.
So it's I think it's around 400 meters, because you don't start at sea level, but yeah.
All right. I'll get shots of everyone dying this year. Everyone can thank Oppy for that afterwards.
There were some great shots from the gravel state titles last weekend up in Rockhampton.
In the mud.
Yeah.
Like it just,
literally people brown.
Yeah.
That's what it takes sometimes. You go out there and I think my profile picture is still from Into Adventure 50K in the mud at Ferny Forest. And I do not look like I'm having a fun time. And I'm, to be honest, not.
Not all of mountain biking is like this. This is just marathons. This is
it's a niche within the sport.
Yeah. So I went to Cap Creek for a ride a couple of weeks ago, and it had rained the day before. And the car park there were only a half dozen cars there, and I had to remind myself, oh, that's right. A lot of people do this for fun. It's rain. I'm not going to go and get my bike muddy. I'll just ride next time it's sunny. You don't have to make it type 2 fun or type 3 fun.
It is strangely serene when I did a Nebo the other week in the wet, and I saw one person on Highwood Road who I knew by name, and I saw one other person up past Scrub Road. That was it. There were 2 other people out doing a Nebo that day. It is.
How many Nebos have you done since we last saw you? How many for the year?
Yeah, I'm going to try and do 25 and 25. And then I ended up doing like 4 in the first week. I was like, yep, okay. Let's see if I think I'm only up to 13 though. It's been a little while since I've done one. So are you going to go stalk me out here on the Strava?
I'm actually thinking I want to, because you can see your progress. So do you have like an annual goal for these things?
No.
Oh.
No, this just came back because I just happened to do a few I did one on New Year's Day, and I was like, that's a nice way to start the year. And then I did a couple more, and I was like, hey, I've done a bunch of these this year, so
I can tell you, according to Strava, I've climbed 56,000 meters of elevation gain this year.
Yeah, right.
I set myself a 100,000 climbing goal. I'm not going to get there. I'm behind on that.
I think I'm pretty similar if I go check my car.
Yeah. and I said, it's just fun. Last year I did 5,000 Ks on the bike, mostly off-road. So that'd be a low total for a road cyclist.
Yeah.
But for a mountain biker, so I set myself a 6,000 kilometre target for kilometres ridden this year. So I've done 3.9. So I'm a little bit ahead on that one, but
nice.
I don't know how many need. I do light lines because it's closer from my house. So I've probably done a half dozen light lines this year at least.
That's right.
But
we'll circle back to that. So
yeah. I should go and do one again, South Boundary, because it is such a classic.
It's such a good ride. We're talking other events coming up. Gravel Muster.
Yes.
That's coming up. Helidon Spa up the hill.
Yes. So starting at Helidon Spa, 28th
2 weeks after
September.
2 weeks after Epic, just enough time to recover and go, I might go and bust myself up on a bike again.
Some interesting stories around that. I did the first Gravel Muster. It's a Gravel Muster 1.0. There's been a 2.0 I skipped, but that was back 18th of May, and took my cyclocross bike, as is my want. One by on the front, and I think 40 mil commuter tyres, because I basically took my commuter bike. But a fair bit of high-speed gravel. So the drop bars were really advantageous because 80% of your drag comes off your body, not the bike. So being able to get down low. But then I followed that up with Sunday Creek Classic on the 24th of May, so like the next week, on the mountain bike. And yeah, gravel bikes heaps faster. Just that aero position I found following people on the dirt, just sitting up, catching the breeze, which is why I brought up the narrow bars, because if you can bring your arms in and stop catching as much breeze, because, the tyres, people are running gravel tyres are turning into mountain bike tyres. They're running the similar size, even suspension on gravel bikes. And
I've got my little front suspension, and it's 20 mil. It makes an incredible difference. Just isolates you from those repeated.
Applause.
So it isolates me from the applause that I ride through out on these gravel roads.
There goes Hubcap.
That's that guy.
He's that guy from that meme page. So, yeah, but I mean, it's interesting. Also, last weekend was Leadville over in the States, which is...
Shout out to Trekkie. Just bad luck. And I'm such a fan of that. He's such a good dude.
But people running the big trend after last year's winner, Keegan, won on drop bars. And was it last year that he set the course record? He nearly broke his own course record this year. But so drop bar, full mountain bike, dual suspensions, bar with drop bars. Very common. I think he rode a hardtail. No dropper posts. So it's old school fire roads, but there's a big fast section of pavement. So a lot of people on the drop bar program just for that aerodynamics. The women's winner, Kate Courtney, She got a great photo of her holding onto the crowns on the top of her fork to get aero.
I remember people in the original Epic course
doing something similar,
doing stuff like
high speed road.
Once
you're around 30k an hour, most of your effort is going into aerodynamic drag. But she had wireless shifters stuck to the top of her fork crown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she could keep changing gear.
Beep boop.
Yeah, amazing. But so, yeah, get narrow. So narrow bars are back. That's where I was going with that. Narrow bars are back on mountain bikes. Get in there tight.
I mean, I think a lot of those Leadville guys who went out and rode those. There's that Columbine climb and then descent because it's out and back
against the traffic.
Back against the track, and they were
Was that where Trekkie flattered?
I don't know, but a handful of seconds slower on the descents, and then just significantly faster everywhere else was, I think, what came about from a lot of the drop bar stuff, and of course these top guys can.
Oh, they can ride anything.
They can throw those bikes around on that, you or me trying to ride that sort of speed on. Or maybe me trying to ride. Sorry to lump you in with a liability of a descender like me. But
I've done light line on the cross bike with the commuter tyres and just rim brakes, just sending it. Just pump the tyres up harder, man. Don't worry about flatten.
Bones man hit send.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it was just really interesting because Sunday Creek had one section that was single track for mountain bikes, but it was definitely.
Was that the bit? I didn't do it this year, but last year it was the top of the hill, sort of near Gymna.
Yeah, just after Gymna.
One little descent.
Yeah, there was a section of single track.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of K. So it was a decent section, but
little downhill, turn right.
Yeah,
and climb back, and then go back.
It had water bars. I was sending the water bars on my mountain bike, and the guy on the gravel bike I'd been riding with, I dropped him. He then caught me on the road, and it was it was a waste of time. Went back to wheel sucking him till he blew me away on the climb. But I got him back on the last big descent out of the forest. I don't know because once you get out of Gymna, there's still a lot of climbing to get up to the highest point on. That's Sunday. Is that actually Sunday Creek?
I think that's Sunday Creek, right?
So once you get to the top of Sunday Creek, there's a sustained downhill all the way till you get out of the forest.
The first 10K of that descent is a descent on a elevation profile, but it was quite soft last year, so it was a false flat descent.
Ooh,
it was no, we're supposed to be going downhill here, and yeah.
So
it was, and eventually you get to a bit where it's it's fast and it's descending now, and
then it gets really steep in the last bit and really rough where it starts to S down to the creek. Anyhow, so I made the time back on. So I've been, but not enough to counter the guys that were on gravel bikes and gearing too on the road sections. You just left behind with big chain rings. But it's interesting to see. Really people are starting at that elite level to tailor the bikes for the course. If it's smooth gravel, it's gravel bikes, no suspension. If it's rough gravel, it's, a mountain bike with maybe drop bars, maybe not. So it's still, I'm enjoying the evolution of gravel to see it go through the same kind of refinement that mountain bikes went through in the 90s. Of experimentation. Do we need suspension? How much? Dual suspension or hardtail? How big are the tyres? How big are the wheels? So then that's why when I, tongue in cheek say gravel is just 90s mountain biking. It's not just the bikes, also the spirit of it. So I've been doing more gravel and enjoying it. It's literally, as you say, the original Epic would be a gravel race now. Bring back the point-to-point Epic, I say.
We'll have to go dig out Marmar Creek.
Well, you can still go through there. The Bicentennial National Trail still goes through there somewhere. Maybe we should do that. The three of us will go out there. You can drive the support car.
That's right.
Just because that was far too quick. I should have said.
That
was
terrible. Give him a chance to say that, and then go, "Oh no! Oh, actually, good point. That could be."
Well, I was thinking he can take the photos.
Hey, mate, come to my party. Make sure you bring your camera.
Welcome to our mountain biking and body shaming in South East Queensland podcast. This week we'll be talking about Lachlan's
inability. You could have at least said, like, while I'm healing, you can drive the support.
That would have been a good segue.
It's killer, man. I went out actually, and I think we've talked about this. I went out during summer early this year and actually rode some of the original course.
Arrows are still up.
Yes.
I mean, there is a way from Preston Peak down to Marmar Creek on the road because we climbed up it. I did the mega epic in 2008, the out and back.
I'm not doing it before this year's epic, but maybe we'll
wait until the height of summer, shall we?
But after we've done the actual race, I've done the climb out the back up Red Gap Road.
Yeah.
So I've been through Red Gap Road this year and back along
to Mulgowie.
And then turned right and gone up. So I've done that. That was the second version after the point.
I like that course.
Well, as you came back into the property, you went through an old red iron gate, and that brings you out to a third of the way down 500 above. You can pull into 500 above. But getting permission to use the roads for events is problematic for insurance as well and council permits. So, because I did talk to Tim about, could we do that? Could we do a gravel epic as a partner event? But it's just not on the cards. Too hard. Bridge too far. You never know. 25th anniversary is coming up.
Yes.
So what's this, 23?
I think I saw 23rd. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done that many.
I think I might be closing in on my 20th.
Yeah.
I was there for the OG with no idea what I was doing. I was one of the 268 or something. I think we had the first year finishes.
You did the first end to end on the rail trail as well, which you just went and redid. You've got a history.
Well, I think we've talked about that. Basically, the reason for it, that one existing in a way.
Yeah. And I've got to say, so John Clues, Pete Winfield, and Meg Carrigan had done a ride from Toowong up over Nebo out to Fernvale and got on what existed of the rail trail then and rode to Yarraman, patching up the bits. And I was inspired by that ride to then start at Walkaracka, and I used to run along the old train line when I was a
paper boy.
Well,
back in the
90s, like I grew up near where the branch line split off, and I would run out behind the grammar school ovals out there. We'd do that as a cross country training loop. So I've sort of been on and off that trail. This back when it was still the train tracks were there. Like the train line only closed in the early 90s, and this was the mid to late 90s. I was running out there, so sort of a little bit familiar with it. But yeah, got that was the ride that the others had done, and I sort of knew the first bit, and it was pretty agricultural, and had a bit of a breakdown on the Black Butt climb, opening the 450th gate for the day, and in the 35-degree heat, even though it was technically winter. And
I think speaking of opening, I think they've just opened another bridge on the rail trail.
You can get to Esk now without crossing a gully.
Without having to go down and
down through it. It's
wow. Which one? I've lost track.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Sandy Creek, just south of Esk.
Oh, I think I knew that one. Yeah.
It's quick. We covered 60 Ks 2 weekends ago in 2:01. We averaged 29. And when I say we, I mean the group that I was in when we were not at the front of the race. It is just
race.
I think you guys challenged me to shoot from a different angle last time we spoke. We remember I was talking about not looking up at the bridges, and
maybe you need to bring out a step ladder so you can look down.
Well, no, I've since shot a race, and I had that in my mind. Okay, I've got to find something,
find a new angle,
and yeah, I think I did. I'll have to
look at it through a new lens.
I got plenty to choose from already.
Yeah, no, it's always a moving feast. The old rail trail. It's never quite the same.
Speaking of, I think we were talking just before. So the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail Users Association did do the Esk to Walkaracka to Yarraman to Esk end to end by 2. Your famous 300
noodles
in the rain.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
That was it. Oppy just shivered for those of you.
Yeah, I mean, there were people, more broken, unprepared people.
Yeah, but
I think we'll see some broken, unprepared people at this year's Epic.
Yeah,
halfway up that hitch.
But Audax, I think, doing that under their.
Were they the original gravelers?
They just rode, they just rode what they rode, didn't they?
Yeah,
it's right from here to there, and
so they're doing like a 50, 100, 200, 300.
Something along those lines, yeah.
So Audax is about getting on your bike and just not stopping.
Stay on the bike.
I think it's right up your alley. Marathon, multi-lap, 24, 12 hours. Have you done any Audax? I don't know, actually done one. I think you've got to become a member of
Yeah,
Audax.
No, I haven't done anything that falls under their auspices, or under their sort of rules or protocols. So it's always been something people are like, you should do these things. Like, I do enough dumb rides of my own volition, don't I?
So that actually was a point I was going to think, when you talk about doing dumb rides, which one of your dumb rides that you're doing now do you think will become a future event? The Hubcap Classic. Is it just the multiple repeats of South Boundary? Because you're well known for doing that. I mean, that used to be actually the Australia Day ride. Do you remember that? There used to be an annual mountain bike ride up South Boundary on the 26th of January, leading from Gap Creek. Used to be a bit of a Brisbane tradition. It kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, okay. No, it was not involved with that.
I think Bike Style used to, anyhow.
Yeah.
One of the old shops used to sort of be, some of their riders were behind that. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen Mark from Energy Lab Triathlon. He's done he does his Hell Week with his athletes, and he often kicks that off with the 500K on Christmas Eve, which I've done a couple of times back in, haven't done one for a few years. To knock off the festive 500.
Oh, the festive 500. That's right.
Yeah. So
the first to 500, more like it.
Yeah. So a mate and I did it the week before because I couldn't get the Friday off work. So we'll just go out and do it the week before. Was our first 500. And then he didn't ride a bike for about a year after that. He's back riding a little bit now, but just, he was like that was enough for him. But Anthony Zara and I did it at Murarrie. And if you ride that distance at Murarrie, you end up climbing over 2,000 meters. It's it's a hellish course to do that ride on. That's
I think those
Nunda is a little bit breezy. It's got that little climb up past which you start to notice after like 300.
I notice it every lap. I don't
know. But it's pretty sedate, relatively speaking. So,
I think didn't Michelle do it at
Michelle
the velodrome?
Woods did the velodrome, the Narang velodrome, yeah, which is.
I think when you get to that high lap multi-circuit, it becomes much more a mental game to complete because it is just so.
You were talking about there's a Into Adventure 5 hour coming up, and you were like, I don't know if I can ride Ferny Forest I don't know if I can ride a 10K lap for 5. Bro, I rode a 1K lap for 16 hours. So
and
maybe that indicates there's something significantly wrong with me.
No, it's just
that's part of it though.
So that mental fortitude is absolutely something that I think you've got, and I see it in the way that you do your 24-hour rides. And my challenge is that it's like the reason I didn't do the end-to-end this year for the 160. It's like I've memorised the course. I get bored, and I'm like, a key part of those rides is the adventure, and I would rather go and ride somewhere I've never ridden and make a mistake, have to turn around and go all the way back, and then go round and round and round for 5 hours at Ferny Forest.
But you talk about the metaphor. Some of these things, some of these longer rides, you get to the end and people are like, hey, how was the ride? I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You've been out there for half a day. Like, I don't know. I don't kind of. You get to that sort of dissociating kind of point where you're just.
No. Oh, no. Okay. I only get to that level where they say how was it, and I'm like, when I'm extremely tired and I'm like, I just need to stop and eat and then ask me again. But no, like when I'm in you get into a flow state, or you might be just ticking off stuff. But I'm probably it's a learned habit now to be present and to look up, because you can get really stuck into just the monotonous of the motion and the gravel blur or whatever it is. But I'm very conscious now to be in the moment, to look up and to appreciate where I am and in those long rides, because it is one of the core reasons I do it is to get out there, and then that's that, looking at that external value. Yes, I like to get the fitness aspect out of it, but it's about external goals rather than that, like how many laps can I do, how far can I go, can I do this, how fast can I do 500. So those are, I just find that less attractive to me these days.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of those sort of ride till you drop races. Are you saying they're new, some of those?
Oh, no, the Audax ones.
Yeah.
No, they're prescribed distances.
Yeah, okay.
You sign up for the 300 or the 400. Unlike, there's a trail run where it's the last man standing.
Yeah, last man standing.
Yeah.
They went for like 4 days.
Yes.
You have to run one lap
or two of you have to go until there's
one.
Well, they start as a group, and you have to run a lap every hour?
Every 6.7 Ks every hour. So if you run 24 laps, you run 100 miles. That's the number. And these guys covered like 807, or one guy covered that. Everyone else kind of lost.
Yeah, he went. He was the last man standing. But yeah, I've not seen that as a.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were alluding to.
No,
cycling thing.
I mean, you're saying that Audax, you just ride. I mean, people pace themselves and take rests.
Oh,
and, there's the parry breast and stuff like that where, you'd have to schedule in
rest.
Hey?
Rest. Yeah, you have to schedule in some rest. I mean, there's the Trans Divide in the US. That's a non-stop race. Fastest time wins the person who can cope with the most sleep deprivation.
Mm.
But no, I think there was a little bit of that, like the what was it, the Oz Wheel Race, the ride across from, I think they start in Perth and end in
the Indy Pack.
Yeah,
or became the Indy Pack.
Yeah, Indian Pacific Wheel Race. That's what I'm thinking of. I think after. Mike basically got killed by a truck. Ultra endurance events in Australia, so there was a bit of a people are a bit more mindful about sleep deprived riders on roads with heavy traffic. There are can be low probability, high consequence events, and it's sort of, I think you've seen a lot less of those. It's my perception of it anyway. But,
Which just doubles down, the sort of one of the fun of places like the rail trail is you're removed from that. You can go and ride flat out. It's like, it's road fast, those flatter sections.
With consideration of horses and pedestrians that you come across, but...
Yeah, but like if you're out there on a Saturday afternoon in winter, you might come across somebody every 10 to 15 minutes. You might come across some other people out for a ride. You call out, "Hey guys, sweet as," go past them, or and then you can wind it up again. You don't see anybody for the next 5K, and there's a horse up there wave, and they just wave you through. As much as the trail's well utilised, there's just so much space out there.
Yeah,
but you can. And talking about the end-to-end event the other week, you're like, "Oh well, I've memorized this trail," but you know what? I mean, it starts in the dark. It starts half an hour before the sun comes up, and it's freaking cold. So I had my sunglasses on. I had my A-ups on because my A-ups still work from 2007. I think I bought them. They still go mint.
Yeah.
So I had them on. So I had a little bit of light, but I had my sunnies on because I didn't want my eyes to freeze. And you're just caught up in the group, and you just ride in the ebbs and flows of the group around you. And like, well, do I chase that guy? Do I just sit up here? Or
it's a road race at that point.
It's not a race though.
Not a race.
Just anybody from any insurance company or the Department of Transport that has it. It's not a race.
But it is traffic free, and you can ride at your own pace. How about that?
And or you can ride in and out with the group. And there's There's a fun in that, even though you're like, oh, I remember that stick and that bridge and that reflector and stuff like that, but it's a different experience.
Yeah, and as the event, I think riding with people, it's a different. But I'll come back to the rail trail. I'll give it a break. I've done a lot of it. I think once the memory dims a bit, I'll get out and maybe ride some selected bits. But
come have some beers with us next Friday. That'll dim your memory. I guarantee it.
I'll have a word to say.
Speaking of the rail trails, I did a bike packing. I don't think I did a flash pack on the rail trail, but the Kilkeven to Kingaroy.
Oh, yes.
Same weekend as the BQ event, which was rather fun because I rode through all of the day trippers. Saw a few BQ people.
Yeah.
Shout out. I rode with just an overnight bag, spare clothes, stayed at Gameri Pub. Can highly recommend the Gameri Bakery. So Kilkeven.
I believe it's the best bakery in
Gameri.
Every one of those bakeries. We've got the best pie in South.
And I stayed at the Empire Hotel, which was, cheap, clean, bed, didn't have to take a tent, didn't have to, take anything for cooking. So we just did a short day on the first day to Gameri, and then the next morning did down to Kilkeven and then all the way back to Kingaroy. But Gympie Regional Council looking at submissions for mountain bike venues or mountain bike facilities. They've got a survey up at the moment. So if you get along to gympie.qld.gov.au, fill out the survey and say, yes, I would like more mountain bike facilities in the region. And specifically from Kilkeven back to Gympie. There is actually a rail trail, but it's not... Oh, sorry, there's a rail corridor, but they haven't funded or converted it to rail trail yet.
And from all reports, that ride from Gympie north out along the Wide Bay Highway out to Kilkeven is not...
suboptimal. Narrow highway, high speed. So there's a couple of alternatives. I think we spoke briefly about this with Andrew back in episode 3?
2 or 3, yeah.
But so they've got anyhow, if you have an opportunity, have your 2 cents in the survey. They're also talking about Gympie Regional Council looks after the same area that Sunday Creek Classic goes through, Ammermoor
and Jimna.
What's the town that the Sunday Creek Classic starts in? Kenilworth. So all through there is some fantastic riding opportunities. And they really could build a world-class trail network in there. So, more trails the better.
I did also see a post from South Burnett regarding the South Burnett rail trail that heads up into Gympie Regional Council.
So South Burnett have funded their part. It's Gympie that haven't funded their part. So from...
it's quite a stark difference.
Well, yeah,
it's like stepping
asphalt. So from Kingaroy through to trying to remember the name of the town, but it's before Gameri.
Is it Mergen?
Mergen, maybe. It's asphalt.
Under the Pearl.
And then it goes to quite good dirt. And then when you get past Gameri, there's a few sections that are only short, but are road ballast, still at railroad ballast, which is, like 150 mil diameter coarse rock. But it's a great ride down the range from Gameri down to Kilkeven. But I found out on the way back that it's actually uphill all the way to Kingaroy, just slowly, ever so slowly, just working your way up. And I was like, it's a bit of a sting in the end of the rail trail.
Because, if they could link it back to Gympie, though, catch the train at Gympie, 50 cents, ride out, KKRT, link trail to Yarraman, BVRT, get on the train at Walkerack, 50 cents home.
Yeah.
That'd be your flashback. That'd be 350, 380K over 2 days. A lot of people, more than
3.
2 or 3.
Yeah. I mean, so people are doing the BVRT in 3 days. And so, but it does give you, it's a regional rail trail corridor, and the stock route between Yarraman and Kingaroy is mostly rural roads. So yeah. Anyhow, we'll watch this space. I think it'll happen. It's just a matter of time.
We've covered a lot of our favourite topics again. The one thing we haven't chatted about was the Mackay event. Is that at Queensland State XCO Champs in October? Or is it September? Sorry. Might be September. I think I got... Let's check. The viewers need accuracy.
I was going to say, speaking of November, that I heard a message from John Pennell, who is hosting a round of the Wild West series at Adair. In November, and he's kicking around the idea of having on the Saturday beforehand a 26-inch retro event. Bring your 26-inch wheeled bikes. Bring back 26. 26 ain't dead. Hashtag.
Who keeps their 26-inch wheel bikes?
This guy. So that might be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So,
can we do a live?
So
live
maybe pre-disc 26 and post-disc 26.
Disc. This is family friendly.
Okay. We should do a live podcast at the event. That'd be great.
Yeah. Look, if that comes together, watch this space. Lachlan will put it up on his social media.
October 4th and 5th, I believe, is the
Pencil
the Mackay XCO State Champs. And
I believe you're going to be there.
Oh yeah, I'll be there photographing. You couldn't hold me back. I love the. I
reckon we should try that.
Just grab his right arm.
You got no wrestling. We're going to
calm down.
Get a weak point there.
Just dig the thumb in the bicep.
I love Roe Allen Park. You've ridden it? No?
I did the Mackay State titles last time they were there.
Last time?
Yeah.
That's
Kinchant Dam about, God knows, like early 2000s?
Right.
Yeah, Kavarik was racing downhill before he went to the World Cups. So
that's a bit further
long ago.
Yeah.
So, I have great memories of, there was big double to finish the downhill. And it was in the days when big doubles were a new thing. There were people that couldn't ride it, me included. I can't remember whether I definitely raced the cross country. I can't remember whether I raced the downhill, but I think I would have had to have gone through the jump because I just couldn't jump on those bikes. I think, old school, Santesi, Velici, and it doesn't matter. Lots of old Mazzocchi bombers were new, people on 26-inch wheels and suspension forks that flexed like noodles.
But yes, Roe Allen Park.
I haven't ridden
the Scout Camp.
No.
It's pretty. It's fun. It's
lots of rock from what I recall.
Surprisingly technical for a Scout Camp, but super cool.
Is it part of the Queensland Scout Camp series?
There's a few. Hey,
we've got Kawongbar. No, Murrumbong is a Scout Camp. We don't really race there anymore, but there's the one at Mount Crosby, which is called. I've forgotten the name.
Is it Alawa or is that?
No, Alawa's just down the road.
That's further out, yeah.
Crosby.
Anyhow, whatever the Mount Crosby one is there. And then, of course, we've got
Mount Cotton
Scout Camp.
Yeah, and Samford
Scout Camp. We haven't had a Samford Scout for a while. Not since the demise of the Diagula Range Cycle Club.
Right. What other Scout Camps? Roe Allen Park. Yeah, I don't know if there's too many others, but...
Well, there's a few anyway. I can't believe I can't remember the Mount Crosby name. It's annoying me now.
Yeah, why is it?
Anyhow.
I'll have a chat to Scouts. I'm sure they'll put together a mountain bike series.
Well, there's an inter-school series. I'm sure they'd be into it.
Inter-Scout series. Yeah.
But yeah, pencil me in for that one. That's
jumping in the
too
car
long
with me?
before I'm heading over to Roto to do the Wacker 100. So, yeah.
You want to come up to me?
I'm busy all.
It's a commitment.
I'm busy all October.
He's being festive.
Fair enough.
I am.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, well, I think we've talked all thing trails this episode, and all thing events this episode. So we might we might wind that up there, and we'll see you out on the trail or back on the podcast for the next episode.